Just 10 seconds. That was all it took to turn a potential PR disaster into complete chaos and throw a major network into turmoil. An ABC anchor reportedly believed the audio had been switched off. It had not. One careless and arrogant comment about Alex Eala quickly exploded into an international controversy within hours. The suspension reportedly happened almost immediately, but the regret followed even faster. So, the real question is this: was it simply a careless mistake? Or did it reveal something much more troubling happening behind the scenes? Before we break this story down, let's make one thing absolutely clear. If Alex Eala inspires you to dream bigger, hit that like button and comment, ***, proud to be Filipino right now. ***, do you believe Alex has what it takes to break into the WTA top 5? Like this video if you believe in her potential, and comment ***, top 5 ***, if you're already claiming that future today. And if you believe Alex is truly the pride of the Philippines, hit like and leave a heart in the comments to show everyone where you stand. Now, let's take a closer look at what really happened. This had nothing to do with a missed volley. It wasn't about a double fault, and it certainly wasn't about a painful defeat. This was about a live microphone and an overconfident attitude that a veteran ABC anchor had just finished a segment covering Alex Eala's recent rise. The cameras were still on, the studio lights were still shining, and producers were already preparing the next segment. The anchor reportedly smiled, leaned forward, and said something that was never supposed to reach the audience. She's not that good. The hype only exists because she's from the Philippines. That was all it took, just a few brief seconds. But those seconds had serious consequences. At first, only the studio crew heard the comment. Then someone clipped the audio. Another person shared it. And once the recording reached the internet, it spread incredibly fast. Within hours, there was no escaping it. X, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube reaction channels, and sports podcasts were all replaying the same insulting remark again and again. Suddenly, Alex Eala wasn't making headlines for a powerful backhand. She was trending because someone had allegedly tried to reduce her entire career to the country on her passport. So, let's pause for a moment and look at the facts. Alex Eala is 20 years old. She is a junior Grand Slam champion who has competed against experienced veterans and proven that she belongs on the same court. She has also proudly carried the Philippine flag onto stages where very few athletes from her country have ever competed. She didn't reach this level because of hype. She earned it through relentless hard work, demanding training sessions, early 4 a.m. mornings, tough losses that shape her character, and victories that built her confidence. Looking at everything she has achieved and claiming that the attention exists only because of where she comes from is not real analysis. It is simply dismissive, and fans immediately recognize that disrespect. Within just a few hours, the hashtag were taking over the algorithm. Respect Alex and boycott ABC in Manila. The clip continued spreading rapidly across social media. Filipino fans weren't simply standing up for a tennis player. They felt they were standing up for their own dignity. And here's the reality. Tennis is not the biggest sport in the Philippines. It doesn't have the same deep cultural connection that basketball and boxing do. So, when a homegrown athlete breaks into the highest level of global tennis, it carries enormous meaning. It represents opportunity, recognition, and hope. It gives young kids watching at home a reason to believe and think, maybe I can achieve that too. And then a voice from a major American network comes along and says, the hype only exists because she's Filipino. That statement landed differently. It struck a much deeper nerve. By the following morning, ABC was reportedly facing a serious public relations crisis. Executives moved quickly, and a brief, clearly rushed statement was issued. The comment made off air does not reflect the values of our organization. The anchor has been suspended pending an investigation. Suspended. Just like that. That is what happens when public backlash moves faster than an organization can control the damage. Sponsors were reportedly making concerned phone calls, while viewers flooded social media with thousands of angry posts tagging ABC. Media critics also began questioning bias and fairness in sports coverage. But here's the most important part of the entire story. While the internet was exploding, Alex stayed completely quiet. There was no angry post, no dramatic Instagram story, and no public statement from her team. Her latest update was simply a training photo showing her focused, composed, and completely locked in. That silence spoke louder than any reaction could have. While people debated online, she kept practicing. While the clip continued going viral, she remained focused on improving her footwork. Fans noticed, and that quiet response became a source of strength. The louder the criticism grew, the more unshakable her focus appeared. Now, consider the brutal irony behind this entire situation. The anchor claimed that all the attention existed simply because of Alex's nationality. But if that were true, how do you explain the victories? How do you explain the rankings, the numbers, and the long, demanding rallies? Nationality does not win match points. Skill does. Determination does. Discipline does. In trying to diminish her achievements, the comment actually pushed her into an even bigger spotlight. Suddenly, millions of people who had never heard of Alex Eala knew exactly who she was. Her highlight videos began collecting millions of views, while older interviews suddenly resurfaced across social media. In one of those earlier clips, she quietly said, "I play because I love the game." That simple line went viral all over again. TikTok creators began using the quote alongside slow-motion footage of Alex hitting powerful forehands, while fans shared the message like a rallying cry. Instead of hurting Alex's reputation, the insult appeared to make her image even stronger. Meanwhile, ABC's situation reportedly continued to worsen as online investigators began digging into past. They uncovered old clips, subtle remarks, skeptical reactions, and moments that suddenly appeared questionable. Whenever underdogs won, people began noticing small reactions that now seemed suspicious. Soon, fans were no longer simply reacting. They were starting to ask serious questions. Was this just a one-time mistake, or did it reveal a deeper pattern of bias? Inside the newsroom, the atmosphere was reportedly tense. Producers were instructed to avoid social media while PR teams worked around the clock to contain the fallout. Legal teams were also reviewing contracts because once advertisers start getting nervous, the entire situation can change very quickly. And here's the hard truth about the modern world. You no longer control the narrative. The internet does. And this time, the internet chose who it wanted to stand behind. Across the Philippines, support for Alex quickly grew into something much bigger. Filipino students living abroad shared tributes. Communities around the world reposted her videos, and social media timelines filled with messages of support and solidarity. This was no longer just about tennis. It had become a question of respect. Let's be honest, criticism is a normal part of professional sports. Athletes are evaluated every day based on serve percentage, return speed, movement, consistency, and countless other details. That is simply part of the job. But dismissing someone's rise as nothing more than nationality-driven hype is different. There is a clear line between fair criticism and simply belittling an athlete. Fans understood that distinction, and they reacted with anger. Some people tried to defend the anchor, arguing that the comment was taken out of context or was simply a private joke. But that argument quickly fell apart because even if it was meant to be private, it still revealed an underlying attitude. And that was exactly what people were rejecting. By the third day, the controversy was not disappearing. It was gaining even more momentum as other networks began covering the story. Sports talk shows began discussing the controversy, while late-night hosts joked about the dangers of hot MIC moments. ABC's corporate apology seemed weak and empty compared with the strong emotion spreading online. People were demanding real accountability, not carefully polished PR statements. Meanwhile, Alex continued putting in the work. Videos from her latest training sessions appeared online, showing intense drills, relentless effort, and the sharp sound of her racket striking the ball. The message was clear: you talk, I play. That calm confidence connected with people around the world. Sometimes, the strongest response isn't loud or dramatic. It's simply staying consistent and letting your work speak for you. Now, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Athletes from smaller nations often face this particular kind of doubt. They are often labeled as lucky breaks or dismissed as surprises. They are treated like temporary visitors who don't truly belong at the top. But when they continue winning, that story has to change. Alex Eala isn't simply a feel-good headline. She is a serious competitor on the court, and athletes who reach this level don't need empty hype. They earn respect. The suspension proved one thing. Major networks understand the consequences when public anger reaches a breaking point. Reputation is valuable. Sponsors hold serious influence, and viewers have the power to decide whether a network keeps their trust. But here's a bigger question. Will this incident lead to genuine change in how athletes are discussed? Will commentators think twice before making careless assumptions? Or will the controversy simply disappear once the next major scandal takes over the headlines? That outcome depends on you, the audience, because the fans have already shown just how powerful their voice can be.